What the hell is that smell?
When Independence Day hit theaters in 1996, it didn't just blow up the box office. It blew up the entire idea of what a summer blockbuster could be. Giant alien ships hovering over cities, the White House exploding in a ball of fire, Will Smith delivering one-liners while punching aliens. This was 90s movie magic at its biggest and loudest. But as epic as it was on screen, what went on behind the scenes was just as fascinating. From risky decisions to unexpected challenges, here are 10 behind-the-scenes secrets you didn't know about Independence Day. 1. The studio didn't believe in it. Before Independence Day became a massive hit, many studio executives weren't convinced it would work. They thought the script was too cheesy, too over the top, and too risky for such a big-budget gamble. Alien invasions had been done before, and some believed audiences wouldn't take the film seriously. Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin, however, had complete faith in their vision. They argued that the mix of action, humor, and larger-than-life spectacle would connect with moviegoers looking for pure summer entertainment. Their persistence paid off. Fox finally greenlit the project, and the result was nothing short of historic. Independence Day went on to gross over $800 million worldwide, making it one of the highest-grossing films of the 1990s. Beyond the numbers, it redefined the modern blockbuster, giving audiences unforgettable moments like the White House explosion and Will Smith punching an alien. What was once seen as a gamble turned into a cultural phenomenon that set the standard for disaster films to come. And once the green light was given, the team had to figure out how to bring those massive alien ships to life. 2. The spaceships were huge miniatures. In the days before CGI took over Hollywood, the effects team behind Independence Day relied heavily on practical models to bring the alien invasion to life. Instead of rendering everything digitally, they built enormous, intricately detailed miniatures of the alien ships, some stretching as large as 12 feet across. Each model was packed with fine textures, panels, and lighting elements, so that when filmed up close, the ships looked massive, heavy, and otherworldly. These practical effects gave the alien fleet a weight and realism that early CGI simply couldn't match. When the ships hovered menacingly over cities or unleashed destruction on landmarks, audiences felt the scale and danger because the models had a tangible presence. Combined with clever lighting and camera work, the result was both believable and terrifying. It's part of why Independence Day still holds up visually today. Those handcrafted models gave the film an edge that continues to impress even in the era of digital effects. And if the ships looked real, wait until you hear how they blew up the White House. 3. The White House explosion was a practical effect. That jaw-dropping shot of the White House being obliterated wasn't digital. It was done with a 10-foot miniature White House model packed with explosives. The crew set it off in one take, capturing one of the most iconic destruction shots in movie history. And while the explosions wowed audiences, it was the cast that made it unforgettable. 4. Will Smith almost wasn't cast.
Why?
It's hard to imagine Independence Day without Will Smith as Captain Stephen Hiller, but believe it or not, the studio wasn't sold on him at first. At the time, Smith was best known for The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and a few supporting roles, and executives were hesitant to trust a relatively new actor with leading a massive summer blockbuster. They wanted a safer, more established star to anchor the film. Roland Emmerich, however, was adamant. He argued that Smith had the perfect mix of charisma, humor, and screen presence to win over audiences. Emmerich refused to back down, insisting that Smith was the key to making the character unforgettable. In the end, the gamble paid off spectacularly. Smith's role as Hiller not only stole the movie, but also launched him into superstardom, setting him on the path to becoming one of the biggest box office draws of the late 1990s and early 2000s. It's now impossible to picture the film or that iconic Welcome to Earth punch without him. But Smith wasn't the only one who almost missed his chance. 5. Jeff Goldblum improvised many of his lines. Jeff Goldblum's quirky, stammering style made David Levinson one of the most memorable characters in the film. Much of that charm came from Goldblum himself, who improvised lines and added his signature mannerisms to the character. Of course, improvisation wasn't the only surprise on set. Sometimes even the script itself caused issues. 6. The movie almost had a different name. Originally, the film wasn't called Independence Day. The studio wanted the title Doomsday, but Roland Emmerich pushed for Independence Day because of the July 4th release date and the patriotic themes. They even added the line, "Today we celebrate our Independence Day," late in the script to make the title stick. And speaking of last-minute decisions, the most famous line in the movie was totally unplanned. 7. Welcome to Earth was improvised. When Will Smith punches the alien and delivers the line, "Welcome to Earth,"
Welcome to Earth.
it instantly became one of the film's most unforgettable moments. What makes it even better is that the line wasn't in the script at all. Smith came up with it on the spot. In the chaos of filming, that quick burst of improvisation turned into pure movie magic. The combination of action, humor, and Smith's natural swagger made the scene stand out, perfectly capturing the tone of Independence Day. It showed that even in the middle of epic destruction, the film wasn't afraid to have fun. Audiences in theaters cheered, laughed, and quoted the line endlessly, helping cement Smith's reputation as the ultimate blockbuster star. Decades later, Welcome to Earth remains one of the most quoted lines in 1990s cinema, proving that sometimes the best moments happen when actors trust their instincts. And not everything went as smoothly. Some parts of filming were downright miserable. 8. The desert scenes were brutal. Much of Independence Day was filmed in the blistering Utah desert, where daytime temperatures often soared above 110 degrees. The cast and crew battled heat exhaustion, relentless dust, and the constant threat of dehydration. Equipment overheated, makeup melted, and just getting through a day of shooting became a test of endurance. Despite the punishing conditions, the team pushed forward, knowing the setting gave the film a raw, authentic edge. The harsh environment paid off on screen. Those wide shots of devastated landscapes and weary survivors looked all the more believable because the actors were genuinely worn down by the elements. Their exhaustion wasn't just performance, it was real. The desert backdrop gave the aftermath of the alien attack a haunting sense of realism, making audiences feel the weight of survival in a world turned upside down. In the end, the struggle behind the camera became part of what made the film's post-attack sequences so powerful and memorable. And if you thought the desert was tough, the White House nearly caused even more drama. Politically speaking, 9. The Pentagon refused to cooperate. The filmmakers originally wanted the Pentagon's help to make the military aspects more realistic. But when the Department of Defense read the script and saw references to Area 51, they refused. They didn't want anything to hint at government involvement with aliens, so the crew had to design the military sets on their own. But in the end, none of that mattered, because audiences around the world loved it. 10. It broke box office records. When Independence Day opened on July 4th weekend, it made history with one of the biggest opening weekends ever at the time. It cemented itself as the defining summer blockbuster of the 90s and influenced every disaster and alien invasion movie that came after. So those were 10 behind-the-scenes secrets from Independence Day that proved the movie's impact was as massive off-screen as it was on-screen. From giant miniature spaceships to improvised one-liners, it was a wild ride from start to finish. If you enjoyed this nostalgic deep dive, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another video. And let me know in the comments. What classic movie should I cover next? Men in Black? Jurassic Park? Or maybe something completely different? Because just like Captain Hiller said, I ain't heard no fat lady yet. This nostalgia journey is far from over.